welcome you all to the sixth episode of Trashterpiece Theater with yet another story by Literatica's love child of Tyler Perry and R.L. Stine, Samuel X. Now I should make it clear to those of you who are still watching me, I don't plan on just reading stories from Literatica, and I certainly don't plan on only reading Samuel X's stories. The reason I'm focusing on him right now is because his stories are basically the bane of the online writing community. He has approximately 2,433 submissions, and while a lot of them delve into the different categories that Literatica has to offer, the ones I've read both on camera and off have one problem. They're all the fucking same. They feature characters who are more or less Mary Sue's and Gary Stu's whose main purposes are to serve as hollow, emotionless shells for their author. They, like their creator, think that everyone is in love with them, and when in reality, everyone hates them. Or at least everyone would hate them if they were living in the real world like the rest of us. I could go on and on about this, but that would take up too much time. So, without further ado, I present unto you Greetings. The name is Trevor, a tall, good-looking black man. You're familiar with my work. I am the trickster. Oh, really? I believe a certain Loki Silvertongue has something to say about that. He who travels from place to place, amusing himself at the expense of the self-righteous and nasty people of the world. Those who think they're all that. Oh, hello, Pot. Meet Kettle. Currently, I'm on vacation, just hanging out with my buddies Jason Lombardi and Kyle Fresno Lee. We've known each other for a while. You see, we're three of a kind. A black man, a white man, and an Asian man. The best of friends. Also, we're all bisexual. Isn't that hot? Yeah, admit it. You like sexy bisexual men. If you don't, then screw you. Oh my fucking god. We're only one paragraph in, and the combination of arrogance and insecurity is just seeping from my iPod screen. First, he insinuates that we're familiar with his work, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, and he refers to himself as the trickster with a capital T, of course. And of course, he follows that up with telling, not asking, but telling us to admit that bisexual men are hot, and for those who won't comply, screw you. Such manliness, such poise. My fellow studs and I tend to attract attention everywhere we go. It's because we're so frigging gorgeous. It's not even funny. Yeah. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Yeah. But no. Jason is a tall, good-looking Italian stud with black hair, green eyes, and light bronze skin. He's openly bisexual because we didn't hear that before, and happens to be the captain of the men's wrestling team at the St. Christopher Institute of Technology, a private all-male college in Alabama. St. Christopher is a rather small school. They have only 1,200 students, yet they offered more sports than many colleges and universities across America. St. Christopher student athletes competed in a plethora of sports that I'm not going to name because that is complete and utter tripe. I'm a sports fan. They're part of what makes college tolerable. They say fewer men are attending college than ever before. Blame the man-hating feminists. They're the ones taking away men's college sports. That's why I despise all of them. I wouldn't give them a hand if they were dangling off the side of a cliff. No, wait. I'd give them the middle finger. Yeah. Two things I don't understand. One, why must Samuel X constantly name the sports of the myriad colleges he mentions in his stories have to offer? Does he assume that his audience is so woefully inept that they wouldn't know to Google psychologists? Secondly, he always blames every so-called problem on man-hating feminists and Title IX. Now, I'm not familiar with Title IX because I'm not an athlete. But I highly doubt that it and the meanie-head feminists he so virulently despises are the reasons for the so-called decline in male attendance in men's college sports. Of course, rationality doesn't exist in a Samuel Lex story. Oh well, on happier topics. My other friend, Kyle Fresno Lee, is a tall, lean guy with an Asian and Latino ethnic background. He attends Haverhill Tech, a private technical college. Haverhill Tech is also a very small school. They had only 1,600 students. They recently started an athletic department and now compete in a bunch of sports that I'm not going to name. Lee plays football for Haverhill Tech. He's a place kicker. They're both pretty cool. We're the best of buds. We decided to take a little road trip during spring break 2009. It turned out to be the best thing we ever did. Road trips with your buddies are the best thing in the world. Let no one tell you otherwise. We were driving around doing our thing when we came across a small women's college in the state. Uh, what state? What state are you even talking about? The school in question was St. Lucille College, a school with 800 students. I'd never been to a women's college before, a college where all the students were female. Wow, I expected to see gorgeous and intelligent women moving about. Instead, all I saw was a bunch of chubby and forlorn babes. What the fuck? Oh well, it's a good thing my friends and I are open-minded guys who like chubby women. What can I say? I'm a chubby chaser. Or tubby chaser. Whatever. I like it satin, I cannot lie. Sue me. No, wait. Please don't. I can't count on being able to fuck every gay male and straight female judge in whose court I appear. Being a bisexual adventurer saved me in the past, but I'm not sure it will anymore. Anyway, there we were at this all-female college where 90% of the women were chubby beauties. You could say we lucked out. We visited the campus pretending to be visiting some long-lost sisters of ours. Would you believe the chicks bought it? How in the hell are we supposed to know your friends like fat chicks? It would be a lot better if we got to hear their side of the story. But we're not gonna because they, like the narrator, are hollow, empty shells with no personalities or thoughts of their own. And can I just say that most women's colleges aren't full of chubby, forlorn women? And also, any woman who will buy the whole long lost sister routine without so much as a single thought should not be in college. I'm just saying. The college president, a nice old lady named Sister Mary, let us stay in the guest house. We stayed there and had a good time too. The campus women weren't used to seeing men, especially tall and handsome male athletes like ourselves. I don't blame them. Oh god. I'm a 6 foot something black stud with an athletic body, model's face, and porn star's cock. My butters are equally tall, good looking, and well endowed. To these women, we were a dream come true. We got treated to some Southern collegiate hospitality and had no regrets about it. Near the guest house where we stayed was the smallest women's dormitory. Some of these gals, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate that term, came over to see us out of curiosity. Let's see. There was Joanne, a tall and large-breasted, thick-bodied, and big-bottomed black woman. There was also Sarah, a red-haired, green-eyed Irish plumper with the biggest ass I'd ever seen on a white chick. Finally, there was Amelia, a plain-faced, thick-bodied, wide-hipped, and big-bottomed Latina. I suppose it wouldn't kill him to just say that they were all fat. Is that too much to ask for? Fuck! Yeah, the three of them came to visit us. They pestered us with questions. They hadn't been home since the school year began and were starting to forget what good-looking masculine men looked like. I smiled from ear to ear. I would be delighted to show them. We were talking, laughing, and having a good time. Someone opened up a can of Heineken and some Hennessy. We started drinking, mixing it up, and having a good time. It was a lot of fun. I don't know about any of you, but if I get the feeling that if this guy were real, he'd probably reek of Axe body spray and black and milds. And how in the fucking fuck do you know that those women weren't used to seeing men? Did it ever occur to you that maybe they were on that campus because they wanted to be amongst other women? Hmm? Huh? And why am I not surprised that the women are instantly creaming themselves over these goobers? Little did I know that we were talking to the three most sexually repressed women on a campus filled with chubby lovelies. They needed to loosen up. Well, so did we. Kyle was talking to Joanne and seemed really into her. I guess Kyle likes large black women. Jason was chatting up to Sarah, the white chick. To each his own. I was talking to Amelia. I like Hispanic women. The first woman I ever fucked in the ass was Dominican. Hispanic women are fun. Jason was chatting up to Sarah because clearly we didn't get that the first time. I don't know what he was telling her, but she seemed to be liking it. We were all having a good time. 3 sexy men and 3 horny, chubby women. I think you can guess what happened next. I'm going to tell you anyway. 3 sexy men and 3 horny, chubby women getting squashed. Oh, I know. You're all going to bake cookies and LARP together. Amelia was looking at me the way a hungry woman looks at fast food. I smiled and asked her if she was horny. She grinned, and I took her hand and placed it against my groin. Made her feel my awesome rod of power. Her eyes, her eyes lit up. I whipped it out and showed her my cock. 10 inches of hard and thick, uncut black man power. Amelia's eyes widened. I told her to stop staring at it and gasping, and instead to just shut up and suck it. She did as she was told. Amelia knelt before me and began sucking my cock like oral sex was going out of style. I looked at the plump Latin woman as she sucked me. What a sight. I like oral sex. The only thing I like more than oral sex is anal sex. I really, really like anal sex. I don't know why. Somebody should do a study about that. Meanwhile, my buddies and their impromptu dates were going wild. I saw Jason leaning against a wall, his pants unzipped. Kneeling before him was Sarah, showing the sexy stud what she really knew about orally pleasing a man. Watching the plump white chick's nude body was a serious turn on for Jason, and I saw his cock harden like never before. He was thrusting his cock into Sarah's mouth like oral sex was going out of style. Sarah was fingering her pussy while sucking Jason's cock. I laughed. The bastard was definitely a chubby chaser, just like me. I'm not even gonna mention the obvious typo, because that would be a waste of oxygen. Anywho, I Amelia continued to suck me. Man, this chick was very good at sucking cock. In no time, she got me hard as hell. When I came, she drank my seed, licked me clean, without spilling a drop. Nice, huh? Next, we had ourselves some fun. Amelia told me that she had a forbidden fantasy she wanted to explore. I smiled and asked her what it was. She told me she wanted to get her booty hole stuffed by a black man's dick. I couldn't believe my ears. However, I very much wanted to help this lovely plump Latina fulfill her fantasy. Happily, I took the lotion she offered me. I made good use of it. Amelia got on all fours and spread her plump butt cheeks wide open. I looked at her pink little asshole. It looked positively inviting. I smeared some lube on her anus and also on my cock. Then I placed my cock against her back door and pushed. I was very pleased to discover that Amelia was no stranger to anal sex. Indeed, the big woman had a tight butthole, yet it wasn't too tight. It was supple from good usage. Not too tight, not too loose. Just right. I placed my hands on her hips and thrust into her. Shoving your cock into a woman's asshole is one of the greatest joys in life. Something a lot of men will never know. Amelia was definitely an anal enthusiast. I like that in a woman. As I began to give the big woman the ass fucking she craved, I noticed that my buddies were also anally occupied by their impromptu dates. The campus loveliest chubby beauties were happily getting on all fours and spreading their plump buttocks to receive the anal probing of a lifetime. Wow, I can't tell you how horny this makes me. Jason had Sarah on her hands and knees on the floor. He spread her plump ass cheeks and shoved his cock up the big woman's asshole. Sans lube. What a man. Sarah screamed as Jason began ramming his cock into her butthole. I tossed him the lotion bottle and he made good use of it. He took time to withdraw his cock from Sarah's asshole and greased up both his cock and her asshole. I trust both of them will find lubricant-assisted anal penetration to be far more pleasant. Indeed they did, for I noticed that Sarah's screams changed from howls of pain to verbal gushes of mixed pleasure. Am I a nice guy or what? I looked a bit further and saw that Kyle and Joanne were having their fun. Kyle Kyle was finally fulfilling his fantasy of fucking a large white woman in the ass. He's told me that anal sex with a tall and chubby big-bottomed white woman was his top sexual fantasy, but he had never pursued it. He said he found them intimidating. I didn't find anybody intimidating, male or female. The perks of being cheerfully psychopathic. More like the perks of being the result of your author's FAP session. As I fucked Amelia's asshole, I must say that I was getting off. Her asshole was wonderfully tight and welcoming. Wait a second, I thought you said her butthole was supple from just enough usage, and now you're saying that it's tight and welcoming? The fuck? She was screaming in a delighted tone, begging me for more cock. I had a blast. Then I came, blasting my hot cum deep inside her asshole. Amelia screamed in sheer pleasure. I looked around and noticed that Jason and Sarah were doing their thing. Jason's not that good at anal sex. It's just not his thing, whether he's doing a man or a woman. Oh well, time to show this chump how a real stud does it. I told him to get out of Sarah's asshole and let me in. He was a bit surprised, but did as he was told. I'm the boss, you know. And we come to the center of the shrubbery maze. At the center of the story is a man who gets off on not only fapping to himself, but also cucking his so-called friends. How much you want to bet he's gonna want to fuck all three of the women? I walked over to Sarah and smiled at her. I asked her if she'd ever been fucked in the ass by a real man. She shook her head. I grinned. Today was the day it happened. I slid my cock into her asshole without so much ado. Jason stood there, staring at me. I told him to go fuck Amelia. Thankfully, she didn't mind. The lovely plump Latina eagerly spread her plump ass cheeks to receive anal penetration from my buddy. Amelia was an anal sex expert. Once again, you know this how? Are you a fucking mind reader or not? Jason was somewhat of an amateur. She guided him through it, telling him to grab her hips, slide his cock into her asshole, and fuck her hard. He did as he was told, and the fun began all over again. Meanwhile, I noticed that Kyle was humping Joanne. My buddy had the big black woman face down and ass up. He was drilling his cock into her butthole like anal sex was going out of style. Damn, he was good at this and looked good doing it. I gave him a high five. He grinned and winked at me. He's such a sexy bastard. He was fucking the big black woman's asshole with authority and poise, like a real stud. Joanne was howling as Kyle's cock drilled into her. I got so turned on from them, watching them, that I almost neglected Sarah. I refocused myself and gripping her hips tightly, began giving her the ass fucking she craved. Sarah screamed as I plunged my cock into the most forbidden depths of her asshole. What is it with plump white women that makes so many of them crave black dick in their assholes? Someone ought to do a study about that. I fucked Sarah good like a miner drilling for oil. Then I came for the third time, sending my hot cum deep inside her asshole. A scream of sheer pleasure mixed with pain emanated from her lips. I grinned. This was like music to me. Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm almost done. Man, after pulling my cock out of Sarah's asshole, I found that I was still horny. My cock was still hard. I asked Kyle to switch. He reluctantly agreed. He hated to part with Joanne, who looked like one hell of a ride. We switched partners. Kyle inserted his cock into Sarah's butthole while Joanne and I got acquainted. Finally, the moment I had been waiting for. Time for a big black man with a huge cock to insert his dick into the tight asshole of a big black woman. It was sweetly wicked and nasty. I almost came just thinking about it. Luckily for me, Joanne was an anal enthusiast. Believe it or not, anal enthusiasts are rare among the women of the black community. A black woman who likes anal sex, especially a plumper, is something special to be treasured, like a special toy. I was going to have fun with Joanne. I knew it. I fucking knew it! He's gonna get to fuck all three of them, like the supreme Gary Stew that he is. I spread Joanne's butt cheeks wide open and pressed my cock against her back door. Then I pushed my cock into her asshole. The first sensation I got was one of warmth and tightness. She was tight, much tighter than Amelia and Sarah. I asked her about it and she told me that she was new to the whole anal sex thing. We had plenty of lube and I was a patient man, so I told her not to worry. Then I plunged my cock into her butthole. Joanne gasped as my cock went deep inside her. I didn't blame her for it. My cock was bigger than that of Kyle or Jason. It has been known to make men and women of all races, sizes, and body types howl in pleasure. I was the intergender anal penetration champion. Ask anyone I fucked. I got tired of the face down and ass up thing, so I flipped Joanne on her back, wanting to look into her eyes while I fucked her in the ass. Man, it was a real trip, looking into the big black woman's eyes while I drilled my cock into her booty hole. Now I know why some people go off on a power trip while fucking others. I had never done anyone like that before. While I fucked her asshole, Joanne fingered her pussy. I took both her hands and moved them away. I didn't want her to distract herself from the cock that was drilling her asshole by giving herself cheap pussy fingering thrills. She smiled and tried fingering her pussy again. I grabbed her hand again and plunged my cock even deeper into her asshole. I went balls deep, all of my 10 inches. I watched as Joanne's eyes bled impossibly wide. I grinned and nodded. Yes, the big black woman's asshole was full, filled to the max with my 10-inch black supercock. Watching the look on her face, eyes wide and agape, was simply priceless. I got off right then and there, sending my hot cum deep into her asshole. Joanne screamed loud enough to wake the dead. It was the most wonderful music I'd ever heard. Fat, 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 fappity, fat, fat. Look at me, I'm so awesome by boffing both my buddies, conquests. That's all I got. Later, all 6 of us showered and then the gals returned to their dorm. My buddies and I left 3 hours later. This was the first day of our road trip and we had so much fun. We infiltrated an all-female college posing as the long-lost siblings of women who did not exist. We seduced and ass-fucked 3 lovely campus dames. We fucked their asses like anal sex was going out of style. And then we took off like it was nothing. I love my life. We hit the road and looked for further adventures. So much country to explore. Kyle told Jason and I that there was a military base somewhere nearby. The thought of hunky military men and sexy female soldiers almost made me salivate. We headed to the base, looking for some fun. And then the male and female soldiers beat the ever-loving shit out of you and your slave boys for trying to infiltrate their ranks. Then they made you do a walk of shame around the base while various members of the audience filmed the debacle and posted it on YouTube, exposing you all as the scummy lowlifes you are. There, I fixed it. So yeah, that's it. I wish I could say more about it, but I believe that's I'm pretty sure that the words I read to you all should suffice. Till next time, bitches, I'm LissaChelle, and I'll see ya in hell. Peace the fuck out.